Well, hello and welcome back, my Battle Language buddies. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Battle Language guy, and welcome to this Christmas live stream. I was going to record a Christmas message, but recording a Christmas message is kind of boring. I wanted to just maybe chat with you, maybe tell you what are my impressions of 2025, what can we expect for 2026, and of course answer some of your questions and remarks. Reading your there are a few of us right now. Let me see. Say your name. Cinderand. Where's my chat? Cinderand 2857. Let me see. JLS 661. Dire Dracares. Hello. Isaman 6847 from San Clemente, California. Jean Hansinger 3981. Nicole Agostini 9447 from McAllen, Texas. Lady 4461. Mr. Roden Li, long time. Yeah, I said I was going to do live streams maybe twice a week, but not even twice a week. Happy season, everyone. From I'm Not Toka. Gertrude Springwater, Merry Christmas. Jean Hansinger 3981, and let's see how else is in here. You're arriving. You're arriving. Little by little, you're arriving. J.E. May is in the house as well. J.E. May, one of our legendary mods. Merry Christmas, J.E. From Scotland as well, California, Nottingham, UK. Okay. All right. Oh my God, I don't know if there was going to be a Christmas speech, but I wanted to give you my own Christmas speech. I'm going to go right now talking about my impressions. I want to talk about, let's say, how crazy. I wanted to talk. I'm gonna give you my insights. Maybe I'm gonna say it more than one. I don't know how long it's gonna be. There's a live stream. I don't know if you can see your own messages. Maybe I can switch to this. So you prefer the? I think I can prefer that. I think that you can switch on and off your the live chat. So I'm gonna leave it like this. So yes, we are arriving at the end of 2025, and as I have told you so many times. Okay, we should do a quick Q&A. I'm gonna try to save your questions for later. We're arriving at the end of 2025, and we are like living some kind of event horizon in which the closer we are to the end of 2025, the time passes slower. I don't know how that works. But for me, it has been insane. I am so ready to disconnect, completely disconnect from everything right now. But most likely, I will be making more videos until the end of the year. And yeah, as soon as we have 2026 in, I will be making videos. You know how it is. So I want to take a break from making videos. You know that is a magic word. You say that you have or you want to take a break from making videos, and something happens. It just something happens. I see that your questions. I'm gonna try to let me see if I can open. I think I can open a Q&A on YouTube. Can I open a Q&A on YouTube here? Start a Q&A. I started a Q&A. So I don't know how this works, but I think that if I start a Q&A, then you can. I don't know how this works. I don't know how this works. Let me see. I'm checking my Q&A here. Oh no, this doesn't work. Okay, wait a second. Let me see. trying to make sense of this. I want to be able to record your questions here so I don't miss them. Wait a second. All right. Where do I find it? I think I have to do something in here. Wait a second. All right. Some technical difficulties here. Let me see. Something is not working on my end. It's just checking here. Yeah, I don't know what I'm not seeing the stuff here. It's like not happening or not working. Oh my God. Well, let's see. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna try to pick your. I'm gonna pick the. I'm gonna pick the questions that I see here. So I'm gonna try to pick the questions that I see here. Let me see. I saw a question a while ago. Okay, Firestarter. I like to your avatar, Firestarter. It reminds me of the Prodigy, by the way, who killed Charlie Kirk, who murdered Charlie Kirk. Everything points that Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. I'm sure that is not the answer that many people want. I should be talking about that as well. Do you believe in Jesus, Jesus? Do you believe in Jesus, Jesus? I believe in Jesus. I believe in Jesus, and Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. That's what I believe in, and that's not gonna change anytime soon. Let me see which other questions are here. Good to see you. Please talk about Venezuela. Maybe I will be talking about Venezuela in a while. I first would like to talk about the United States and the conservatives everywhere, because we are at a crossroads. Okay, important question to make it very clear so people get it very clear. Are you in the United States? No, I am not in the United States, and I want to be very clear about this. I am in Europe. Yeah, so many people know that already. I have said that in almost every other live stream. I am not in the United States. I am in Europe. Why am I so invested in politics in general, especially the United States? Because basically the politics in the United States affect everything worldwide, literally worldwide. But that being invested in American politics, I want to maybe change that in 2026. And I want to say a couple of words about what's going on, especially when we talk about Republicans in the United States, when we talk about MAGA in the United States, when we talk about conservatives in the United States, and we talk about turning point in the United States, I have a couple of words about all that. Gonna be answering. Let's see. Merry Christmas from so many of you. Let me see. Any questions? I'm gonna go through your questions one by one. You have questions, just ask them. Just ask them. Let me see. Oh my God! No, this is okay. I'm going to highlight your question, Sharna SFG. Riddle me this: how comes no one knew Erica Kirk's family are the Rothschild family big mafia? I have no idea. I'm gonna tell you. I have no idea where Erica Kirk comes from. And it's not in the. It is a mystery where she comes from. No, I legitimately have no idea, and that's one of the things that many people are asking questions about. That many people are doing research about that. Go ahead, good for you. I think that I can invest my time and my energy in better questions than that one. And it's not like I'm not saying that people cannot ask those questions. Perfectly welcome, fine by me. But as for me, I'm not going to engage in that. I want to talk about a couple of things. And yes, I'm going to talk about Megyn Kelly. I'm going to talk about Candace Owens. I'm going to talk about Alex Jones, Ben Shapiro. I'm going to talk about Tucker Carlson as well. I want to say a couple of things. I want to say a couple of things about this. Jesus, will we have a Harry and Meghan free 2026? No. We have so much content about Harry and Meghan. They keep working hard to create stuff, shenanigans stuff. I have a channel dedicated to them. It's that we wouldn't have a 2026. I think that this is gonna be Meghan's busiest year, and my busiest year talking about Meghan. That's just reading headlines. That's all that I do. It popped out for us to ask questions. I'm just going to read your comments. I had some technical difficulties. I think that I solved them already. No, I'm not going to answer personal questions. Maybe some of you ask if I play the cello. That is a cello in the background. Yes, I try to play it sometimes. I'm going to be honest with you. In the first half of 2025, I was trying to practice at least once a week. Second half of 2025, especially after September, you can imagine that has been a bit difficult. And so many of you think that this is like some kind of crazy or fake thing in the background. No, it's real. This is not AI. This is the real deal. This is something that I was making. Okay, I wanted to carve this cello with a design. The heavy metal design. I was even carving some kind of frets in it. It plays really nice. But no, it's just wanted to do it. So, that cello must be fake. It's like it's kind of a cardboard in the background. No, the cello is actually. I have my bow. Oh, bow? How do you say that? I have a bow, and I am not afraid of using it. But right now, maybe I could play some cello tonight. I'm really lousy. I think that one of the pieces that I was trying to play, Sad But True from Metallica, Disposable Heroes from Metallica. I was trying. One of the things that I practice the most. Still can't get around the effing lack of frets in the thing. When you come from guitar, electric guitar is hard to get used to. I was trying to play. One of the things that I enjoyed the most playing was the solo of Like a Stone from Audioslave. Fucking, I need the frets. I need those frets. I was trying to modify the cello if I could solve the fret stuff, but now you know that is how is that is for real. Using two words, what will year 2025 go down as? Batshit crazy. Those are my two words for 2025. Oh my God. Those are my two words for 2025. Oh my God. James A. Alexander J.A. Do you like to go fishing? What do you do to clear your mind of all the nonsense and have a Merry Christmas? Some people, it's like whiskey in the jar, right? Some like the fishing. No, I don't like the fishing. I like to drive. I like to drive. I wait until there's that hour, that golden hour, when you know that there's 1 hour left until sunset. I like to drive at that hour. I put some Metallica or some, I don't know, sometimes Korn, sometimes Rammstein. I like heavy metal. And I just drive. That's my way of clean up my mind. And I have very good ideas. I try to I don't I usually record them on my phone when I'm driving, but that's the way that I clear up my mind. I don't go fishing. Let me see. See your questions. I need a question. Please talk about Dan Bongino. Oh my God, Bongino. I made a video on my Power Pundit channel. I have to promote my Power Pundit channel. Thank you, Brooke Ruff, for that question. I have a Power Pundit channel, and I made a video about Dan Bongino. That video is doing very well. It's an outlier, more than 40,000 views. But the too long didn't read of that video was essentially Dan Bongino. He quitting the FBI is a huge red flag. You have like a matrix of 2x2 options. Either Dan Bongino is one of the bad guys or he's one of the good guys. I know that I'm oversimplifying, but let's think in those terms. And either things are going well in the FBI or things are going bad in the FBI. Now, I think from what I have seen in Bongino and his track record, the way his body language, the way that he defends the truth and everything, and as a podcaster, he was spearheading the conservative podcasting. He was extremely successful. He's still extremely successful. I want to think that he's one of the good guys. So I assume that he was one of the good guys. So that leaves us with the two options. Things going great at the FBI or not great-ish or not so great to bad. So if Bongino is one of the good guys and things were going great at the FBI, there's no reason for him to leave. So if he left, it's because things are not going great at the FBI. And as I already told you, yesterday we were talking about, I made a video about this thing, the Epstein list. I told you that in the same week that Bongino quit, Kash Patel was giving this Cosmopolitan interviews with his girlfriend. I mean, what? How does that work? I mean, that is a clusterfuck for me. That is I can understand. I really can't understand what is going on and everything that is going on with the DOJ. I mean, this December has been disastrous for whatever you could call an image of the Trump administration. I'm going to call the shots as I see them. And yes, again, I'm gonna talk about other topics as well. Check the clip from West Texas, the best Texas clips on Charlie assassination. I don't know what clip is that, but well, if you can send that to my email, that would be great. That would be great. Okay, I spoke about Dan Bongino. CW is in the house. CW is in the house. CW is also one of our trusty mods. Is Pete Hegseth confident in what he's saying? I always seen Pete Hegseth like is absolutely has a lot of what is the name of that? A lot of confidence. He speaks with a lot of confidence. I am not an expert in military stuff, but I think that what he's doing is okay, I guess. Again, in military stuff, you could go to any other commentator. That is not what I can comment on in his actions, but in his demeanor, his behavior, he looks very confident of what he's doing. I think that at least the guy seems to know what he is doing. I thought you were in Canada. No, I am not in Canada. Canada's too cold. No, I cannot stand the cold. It's like it's something that that I come from Venezuela. In Venezuela, we have 2 seasons. Sadly, I have to talk in Celsius. I'm gonna try to translate here for my American friends. So you understand. In Venezuela, we have 2 seasons. One season is 32 degrees Celsius, which is 90 degrees Fahrenheit. And the other season is 34 degrees Celsius, which is 94 degrees Fahrenheit. So that is basically the 2 seasons that we have. We have hot and hotter. That is all that we have. And I was born into that, and I guess my physiology is adapted to heat. The Latino heat. The accent and stuff. And no, I don't work. I don't function well. I go below, I don't know, 14 degrees, 15 degrees. How much is that? I go below 60 Fahrenheit. I start to malfunction. Sadly, is that I have breathing problems, and this is very good. You're not being the United States makes sense why you have fashion taste. Oh my God, why are you like that? Art girl parade. Why are you so mean? No, there's a lot of fashion taste in the United States. The United States would be happy to adopt you, the bottle language guy. This is the funny thing. When I had to leave Venezuela 10 years ago, the original plan was to be able, in some sort of way, to live in the United States legally. I mean, at no point has ever crossed my mind, oh, I'm going to spend this illegally. No. That was the original plan. My first stop was here in Europe. And you know how it's Europe in general. You like how you have a lifestyle that can be a bit slower. You adapt to that really quick. I don't know. I thought you were in USA as well. So many of you, I sometimes go to the United States, but you can imagine that I go pretty much incognito. Basically, nobody knows when I touch the United States. And last time, by the way, last time that I went to the United States, I was not this. I don't want to say influencer. I cannot not say I'm an influencer because I actually influence people in the United States. That is obviously, but I didn't have the exposure that I have now. And I think that next time I go, I would have some kind of security detail for at least one guy helping me sort things out. Because well, Bongino, Tucker, and Candace spending Christmas together. I'm going to talk about TPUSA. And Tucker and Candace as well. I think it's too early for that. Maybe in 15 minutes. No, I cannot be in the UK, Susan Reich. I cannot be in the UK for the sole reason that I have heavily criticized the UK. I have criticized the UK in ways that you cannot comprehend. And I don't want to risk jail entering the UK. Big shout out to so many friends in the UK who have told me, most likely nothing. Most likely, no, it's nothing is gonna happen to you, Jesus. Most likely, you're gonna be fine. Lady Colin Campbell, big shout out to Lady Colin Campbell. So lovely. She's so lovely. She has invited me to the event at her castle for some reasons, personal stuff I haven't been able to attend. And of course, I'm all right. So we're back. Oh my God. Are you here? Okay. Are we back? Are we back? Do you see me again? Oh my God. Okay. Can you see me? Okay. Yes. We're back. Fuck. What was that? What was that? I've been making live streams for 5 years. I have been making live streams for 5 years. This is the first time, for some reason, we have a catastrophic connection issue. What the 5 years making live streams. First time this happens. First time this happens. It's great that my software allows for I don't know, resuming this. Let me see. I don't know. It's I lost connection. It's something that never happens. Never happens. And let me see if I can. Oh my God! I don't want to lose all your questions. So many of your questions. Let me see. Oh my gosh! I lost so many of your questions. Fuck no. Oh my God. Oh my God. So many. I lost so many of your questions, but I'm going to try to answer as many. So, okay, so I was talking about that. I told Dan Wooten. I was telling you about Dan Wooten, and I told him, "Are you sure I'm not gonna have any problems in the United Kingdom if I go there?" And said, "Oh, you'll be fine." But I don't know. I have my doubts about that. I have my the elites. Oh my God. The Egyptian planes. The Egyptian planes got to me. Let me see. Oh my God. Let me see if I can see your I'm sorry, I apologize. If you asked a question, please ask it again. Please ask it again so I can check. I think that we are fine. Let me, just in case, in my, I can see my bandwidth, so I can confirm that everything is going well. Bandwidth is okay, I guess. Okay-ish. Okay. Okay. Do you play the cello? I told you that I haven't played like in 6 months. Jesus, do you? Okay, I should retake that. I should retake the cello at some point. Haven't had time. Has been. Fue Maduro. No, Maduro has no power here where I am. The body language guy, can we have a tour of your studio? Oh my God, I thought about that, but my studio, you know, this is gonna be a bit, you know, this is when you see the movie Magic, when you see a film or a movie, and you see that everything in front of the camera and is perfect, and when you see behind the scenes, you see that there's a mess of stuff all around. My studio is like you see exactly what I want you to see, because the rest of my studio is a mess. The rest of my studio is a mess. Maybe at some point I will do it. Well, at some point I will do it, but it's a bit embarrassing. Okay, again, did you cover? I think I need to talk about Erica Kirk and Turning Point and Candace Owens. You are here for me to talk about that. I can understand. Okay, let's see, open widget, stream health, analytics. Are we okay? The connection is a bit slow. Do you see the live stream? Okay. Okay, I'm gonna tell you that this is part of my Christmas message. I'm gonna talk about all this before I get cut off by the crazy stuff. Because I'm worried, because I see that there's problems with the stream health in here. I want to make sure that I have a connection for what I want to say. Let me see my connection in there. All right, so it used to be in red. It's not in red anymore. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna talk about Turning Point, Erica Kirk, Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, the whole thing, the whole enchilada. Here it goes, my rant. This is a rant, right? Totally random. And before I'm going to answer a couple of your questions, are you going on the Paramount Tactical podcast soon? Yes, I was messaging Gary. I will be there most likely after Christmas. We were talking about this weekend, but I really couldn't just get that on range. This live stream is totally out of the blue. But I was looking at the first day of America Fest. Okay, I'm going to try to explain to my body language buddies who are not in the United States. You know that we have all this crazy stuff about Charlie Kirk being assassinated, all these crazy theories, and there was this huge event called America Fest, who was organized by Turning Point, which is basically the biggest, I think, the biggest event of conservatives in the United States. I would say that is the biggest, because I really hadn't paid attention to that. I never paid attention to that. I really never paid attention to Turning Point. I saw it everywhere in 2024. But again, I saw no problems. And I have said so many times, especially in my videos about Candace Owens, I don't like making videos about other content creators, about other commentators, because I think that is not the point of the thing. I think the point is, calling out the real evil ones, the socialists, the communists, the Bolsheviks, all of those, the usual suspects. We're talking about the Kamalas, the Tim Walz, the Gavin Newsoms, the AOCs, the who else? The Jasmine Crockett's. That's what we should be making videos about. That's what I should be making videos about. Okay, so that's something that I should be doing. But then it comes a time, and I see what is going on. I watched Ben Shapiro's speech, and I have to say that I agree with most, if not all, that Ben Shapiro said on that speech. That speech was on point. That speech was, yes, we have a responsibility as people who have an audience and influence as conservatives, no matter where we are, and no matter, because we affect the world. We affect how people understand what is going on with the world, not only in the United States, but worldwide. So in that sense, I agreed with Ben Shapiro's speech. Maybe the part, I can understand that, okay, he had to mention Candace Owens, he had to mention Tucker Carlson, but then Tucker Carlson went on his, Islam is not the problem in the United States, when it's so odd, right, that Charlie Kirk was very clear in one of his last texts on, not texts, tweets, before he was assassinated. He was very clear. I'm going to paraphrase, but it was very clear. Islam is the blade that the left is using to slit the throat of America. It doesn't get clearer than that. And again, I can understand one has to be open to people's opinions. I am going to tell you what I'm going to do in 2026. I was going to jump into the whole bandwagon. There's so many people. I already made my videos about Candace Owens. I already made my point about Candace Owens. If you don't want to watch my videos about Candace Owens, I can tell you my short version of the stuff, that she comes in bad faith. You come in bad faith, I cannot trust what you say. It's that simple. So that's essentially my position about that. Most likely, I am not going to keep making videos about this because I think it's asinine. I won't be making videos about Megyn Kelly. So many of you know that I was kind of campaigning. I think it was this year, 2025. It was at the beginning of the year. I was campaigning to be able to join forces with Megyn Kelly. Why not? I wanted to go on her show. I thought that she was legit. And she ended up being a spineless coward. And I said that again. Megyn Kelly is a spineless coward. Is that you cannot act like that. And seeing that she was there at America Fest, trying to be all right between, Erica Kirk and Candace Owens at the same time, I don't want anything to do with that. I mean, you want to watch Megyn Kelly? Go ahead, be my guest. You want to watch Candace Owens? Go ahead, be my guest. Nobody should be able to stop you from doing that. I don't think that many of these people are honest. But at the same time, I am not going to be calling out, how to say this, how to put this. It's like when people tell me, why don't you address what Candace Owens say with your own arguments? And that is exactly when I tell you one of the most retarded theories about the Charlie Kirk assassination, which was the exploding mic. I mean, we can talk about everything you want. We can, I have spoken about debunked so many things. But if I get to address the exploding mic theories, I would be retarded if I do that, and I will make you retarded because of that. So I can't do it. I just can't do it because there's simply no. It's something that you immediately notice that people are speaking nonsense. Oh, how do you know they're speaking nonsense? They're speaking nonsense. It's that simple. And again, this is my prediction to what is going to happen in 2026. I'm out. I'm out of this high school level drama between Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, all that high school drama. Is that, oh, she's my friend, I stand by her. That's good for you. Good for you. I mean, this is a complete theater. This is a complete theater, and whoever is pulling the strings to literally pit all these commentators against one another, they are succeeding, like spectacularly. Spectacularly. I am not gonna lie. Their master plan is succeeding. And you have Candace Owens, who now, I guess that since she cannot attack Turning Point as much after that meeting with Erica Kirk, then she has to go for the next big thing, next best thing, or next big thing, I don't know, both of them, which is becoming the most notorious anti-Semite of, I guess, the world. Yeah, because now she is, oh, it's the Jews. And I want to be very clear. What is my position about this? I think that is, if you go with the argument that it's the Jews, you are retarded as well. You lack an argument. It's that simple. Oh, everything is Israel. Everything is the Jews. Everything is Netanyahu. Everything is the Jews that control, I don't know, Congress, the White House, Donald Trump. Okay, let's pretend for a second that the Jews control everything. Then there's no way to combat that. You can't do anything about that. You are relieved from doing anything because they control everything. Everything is them. So now what? You can go with your life. As simple as that. You see how freeing? If you go all the way that rabbit hole, that retarded rabbit hole, and you are free to live your life, it's that simple. But that is not happening. And it's very easy to say, oh, bad things happening in your life if Jews. It's very easy to say that. But it's not true. And it brings you click because there's a lot of people who hate Israel, who hate the Jews, who don't think that Israel should be an ally for the United States. I don't understand how that works. I don't understand. I'm going to talk about Israel right now. How does it work that Japan can be considered an ally of the United States, but Israel cannot be considered an ally of the United States? Nobody can answer that question. And you're going to say, oh, you got your check, $7,000. Go fuck yourself. I really don't. I'm really fed up with the full-on theory that everything is, I don't know, Egyptian planes or people in maroon shirts. That is not what this channel is about. I mean, if you like that kind of content, there is a plethora of channels talking about that. A lot of people talking about that. I I try to go with facts. I try to go with common sense. And I call the things when I see things that are strange and things that I think, no, this ain't it, bro. I could say things about the Trump administration that are a bit petty right now. Maybe that's not the moment. Maybe it's Christmas. Maybe we can wait until January to talk about that. But again, there's so many people that you can watch Candace Owens. I invite you to watch Candace Owens if you want Jews hating content. Candace Owens is perfect right now. If you want content from someone who is spineless, you have Megyn Kelly for that. If you want content from someone who is gonna push Qatar down your throat, all the way down your throat like this, and you can watch Tucker Carlson. I mean, you are free to do so. I am not going to watch what they have to say. I couldn't care less. I am going to focus on the bad actors, because this is the problem when I'm going to use the word create content on another content. It's like, let's talk about AI for 2 minutes because it has to do with a metaphor, with an analogy is the word, with AI. You know that AI is trained on human output, on human writing, on human images, photos, illustrations, movies, everything. AI is trained on human output. But everything that humans have written, or we have created, or we have done is already in these machines. They have already trained on what humans have produced forever. Now they have tried to train AI on AI output. What AI outputs, then you use that to train AI. And what do you think you get? What do you think you get when you train AI with AI output? Yeah, you get essentially mad cow disease, but in AI. You get psycho, schizo AI. Why? It is obvious. It's just you get this constant regurgitation and degradation of content. Oh, it's amazing how that works. I mean, I am not anti-AI. Nobody can be anti-AI. It's something that's gonna happen. Nobody can stop that. But even the AI bros know that you cannot train AI on something that is not human content. Going back to what we are talking about, this clowns, this circus that this has become, it would be wasting my time and it would be wasting your time if, all right, fuck, again. Okay, this is, I don't know what is going on with my connection. Okay, it's back. Wait a second. Just wait a second. Okay, it's buffering. I don't know. Are we back? Are we back or not? Okay. All right. So we're back. Oh my God, this is I mean, this is yeah, it's like targeting me. I don't know what's going on. I think we're back. All right, so we're back, right? Wave your hand if you see me. Okay, I'm back. So we were talking about, if you feed AI with AI, you get AI mad cow disease. If you get commentators created content on what other commentators say, we are missing the point. Or at least I am missing the point. I was about, I saw, I was, nope, I'm back. Okay, I'm back. I was going to make a video about Candace Owens and Piers Morgan, how she contradicted herself like in seconds. But at the same time, I said, Piers Morgan is another grifter, is another wind vane that has no morals. I don't know. I don't know how to put this. Just making sure that I'm back. Okay, still off and on. Okay, it seems that it's working now. It's working now. I see my bandwidth. It seems that it's working now. And it's stable. Okay, now it's stable. Finally. Must be the Egyptian plains. Must be an army of guys in maroon shirts or something going. I was going to make a video about Candace Owens on Piers Morgan, but one, I already made my point about Candace Owens. I have nothing else to say about Candace Owens. And Candace Owens is not going to, in my opinion, it's not going to have, I have to say this. I have to say this because this is so asinine. If one podcaster, has the power to derail the conservative, not only Turning Point, like 1 week ago, 2 weeks ago, we were talking about, has Candace Owens the power to destroy Turning Point USA? Does she have the power to destroy the conservative movement? And this is something that I'm going to tell you. It's like when we're talking about the Jews. If the Jews control everything, what are you going to do? Move on with your life. They control everything. You cannot do anything about that. So if one podcaster can derail the conservative movement, and maybe the conservative movement was going to be derailed by anything. In any way. Maybe it deserves to be derailed. Because if the conservative movement in the United States, and you might argue that we are talking about, it's not the same talking about this podcasters and YouTubers and content creators and influencers. The problem is that we are talking about that because whether we like it or not, they are the backbone of how do we get our message through. It is undeniable that Candace Owens has a platform, that Ben Shapiro has a platform, an audience, that Megyn Kelly has an audience, that Tucker Carlson has an audience. And every single one of us, we have a responsibility over that audience. And that's why I thought that Ben Shapiro was 100% right. I used to say, I don't like Ben Shapiro that much. You know what? He gained my respect with that speech. I'm following him on X. I'm going to be listening more to him from now on. Scream all that you want. I know that you're gonna say that I got I got a call from the Daily Wire. I got a wire transfer from the Daily Wire. How about that joke? No, none of that. I just see that there was beyond the name calling. That again, that for me, all that is high school drama was on point. The responsibility one has over one's or our own our audience. So what I'm going to do in 2026, one of the things that I made this channel for was to teach people how to spot manipulation. And I think that the manipulation is way more efficient if we focus directly on those who are a threat to the United States. Let me see. Nobody. I'm gonna address your comments right now. I have no problem. You can't silence Candace. That's not okay. I'm not the owner. Last time I checked, let me see. Where's my business card? In my business card doesn't say CEO of YouTube, so I cannot silence Candace Owens. I cannot do that. She can keep doing her thing. And people will still listen to all the nonsense that she spews. And I think most of that is nonsense. Okay, maybe you have a 10% of things that you could take. As I said in my video, I have the right to say that. You have the right to watch Candace Owens. It is what it is. The issue that I see is that it's twofold. People not being able to call things based on what they believe is right, which is the most important thing. And I don't think Piers Morgan does that. I think the guy is a two-faced moron. Right now, I consider Megyn Kelly on the same level of Piers Morgan. I think that Tucker Carlson is simply somebody I can't trust. I think Joe Rogan is, for the most part, a moron as well. I mean, good for him that he's so successful with his podcast. Great. That's something that everybody could aspire to. But the guy has so bad takes about it. He has spoken to so many great people and so many intelligent people, and he's got some so crazy takes. I can't even mention them here. But this infighting, I am not going to be. I'm going to tell you. Some people are saying. I'm going to tell you what I think. So people are saying, "Oh, this is not what Charlie would have wanted." Charlie is dead. Nothing can change that. It seems that for the most part, Charlie was the one being the glue of so many things in the conservative movement. And I still find it hard to wrap my head around how important seemed to be Charlie Kirk in all this. Because now all these people are on this infighting that I honestly find retarded. I mean, there's no other way. No other way to it. They are trying to protect their clicks, their views, their sponsors. They're trying to let me see who do I agree with. And I was very clear when so many of you asked me what took you so long to talk about Candace Owens, because well, I really did not care about other people commenting what I was commenting. But this is that simple. Let's see your let's see some of your questions here. I'm gonna try to pick one of your questions or your remarks. I want to address even your remarks. You're a sensationalist hack writing Candace. You can't even spell Candace correctly. English, motherfucker. Do you speak it? Oh my god. You're banned, bitch. Go fuck yourself. Alright. Let me see. Let me see. I'm trying to move. Okay. Nick Fuentes, for example. Nick Fuentes sparks for the same reason that figures like Andrew Tate pop up. Is the same. All right. And again, I think that I'm not gonna even mention Nick Fuentes because I don't think it's necessary either. If you follow him, if you listen to what he says, one thing I'm gonna tell you, maybe you are a follower of Nick Fuentes. You're a follower of Nick Fuentes. You're watching my show right now. One good thing that I could say about Nick Fuentes is that he ridiculed Piers Morgan to his face with the per capita thing. I mean, I disagree with Nick Fuentes with almost everything. I don't like the vibes of the guy. I couldn't care less. Good for him. He has a platform. He influencer, whatever. But I can acknowledge that he ridiculed Piers Morgan, which is a thing that I told so many people, that going on Piers Morgan one-on-one is like a rite of passage for commentators. If you go on Piers Morgan, and the idea is that you go on Piers Morgan to squash and ridicule Piers Morgan. And I think that even if I disagree and I don't like Nick Fuentes, I think that for the most part, Nick Fuentes crushed Piers Morgan, and that was fun to watch, not gonna lie. And that's why I think it was so pathetic. Pathetic is an understatement. That Candace Owens went on Piers Morgan, and Piers Morgan made a fool of her. It was painful to watch. I was this close of feeling bad for Candace Owens, but no, it was more. It was much more. How to say this? I don't know. Pathetic. There's another word that's not pathetic. There's one person, which is Megyn Kelly, that she has tried to stay, away from all this, and staying away from all this, she has done that to herself as well. I mean, it has been so bad. So disheartening to know that these are the people who have the biggest audiences in the conservative movement in the country that has the most influence in the world. So are we at the mercy of this high school drama? That's what we are saying? Is that what we are saying? Because then we are truly fucked. We're truly fucked. So that is my advice. As long as maybe you have more questions, I will address your questions. I already said what I had to say about these people. I think they have a responsibility. I am not here to call them out. I already expressed my opinion about that. I think this is a waste of time and energy. Okay, Turning Point USA, awesome show. People are saying that how come Turning Point has this huge event? They said they had the same huge event, the same huge entrance with the fireworks and everything when Charlie was alive. I checked the 2024 America Fest, and it was no different from this year. I think that people are waking up to realize that, okay, they're watching that for the first time. I was watching that for the first time. I didn't know that was so big, but I made sure to check. You know, when I check the body language baseline of somebody to see if their reactions are unique or something that out of the ordinary, and I realized that no, America Fest is pretty much that. And Erica Kirk making the entrance, yes, it was. How do I say that? It was. It was like too much. But you watch America Fest 2024, and it was the same. It was too much. With the difference was Charlie entering the arena. Is that it's basically the difference. It's like you have here. Nick Fuentes is truthful. Good for you. Go watch Nick Fuentes. All right. What can I do about that? It's like Brett Cooper is not a fan of Ben, if I'm not mistaken. I can guess that she's not a fan of Ben anymore. They had their differences. Whatever. Let me see. Let's see. I want to see if there are questions. However, you mocking her and calling her nonsense is not okay. Guess what? Patricia 1557, I will do it every day of the week. I will not do it because it will be a waste of my divine energy and breath. She is not worth it. My God, where does these people come from? Right. There's so many Israel haters in here. Right. So it's like this is a problem. This is something that I've noticed at some point in YouTube. It's something that I cannot address. I always invite you to share your thoughts in the comments because I want to know what you think about stuff. And yes, sometimes 90% of you of the comments are against what I say in my videos. Some of my latest videos have been like that. And yes, I'm here to say to you live that you are wrong. That's all that's all that I'm going to say. If I'm wrong, I'm the first one. I'm going to say it. But most of the time, I'm not. Most of the time, I am right. You know how do I do it? Because I don't try to talk more than I can chew. Does that make sense? But you understand the feeling. Veronica also, my God, Veronica. Sorry if we are in this kind of mess right now. Veronica Olson, another of our mods, make sure to check her channel. Things are really looking up for 2026 are not looking good. Are not looking good. No. We have this is really bad because beyond the usual suspects, many people are starting to realize that so many of these conservative commentators are there only for money, clicks, views, etc., selling merch, etc. You can see it. You don't need a body language analyst, and I certainly will not address that anymore. I mean, I don't know what to tell you, but that is really concerning, because the problem is that liberals have all the mainstream media. We thought at some point that we had a way to counteract all those lies of the mainstream media. We're talking about CNN, MSNBC, all that, the Washington Post. We thought that we could have a shot of counterbalancing it. I'm sad to say that we no longer have it. And at the same time, it's a positive thing, because people are beginning to realize for themselves who are there for the grift and who are there for the common sense. And so many of you call me a grifter. That is your prerogative. My prerogative is to ban you for calling me a grifter. I'm absolutely ban your ass with absolute prejudice and laughing at the same time. But I try my best to explain how things work and how people work. That's why I disagree to some extent. And now I disagree way more with somebody who I haven't mentioned, who is Matt Walsh. I could say that I agree with around 90% of what Matt Walsh says. But in that 10%, he was saying that we all should put our differences away and form this united front as conservatives. And I would tell Matt, no, I am not going to do it. I respect Matt. I admire Matt. I think that he's doing a great job, but I'm not going to do it. Because I don't know how that works. Because I thought that it was the liberals who, it's the meme that you got a chip, right? And you change the chip and all the liberals have the exact same talking points. They have same message, the exact same message. That's how liberals operate. CNN, MSNBC, the influencers, all those, all of them, from the Twitter influencers to the mainstream media, all of them have exact same talking points. I thought that the conservatives of the conservative movement could be different than that. That we could use our thinking matter, right? Our gray matter, our brains to argue and stuff. Oh no, we need to have a united front. No. At least I'm out. I have to be very clear that, of course, I actively campaigned for Donald Trump in 2024. And I don't regret that 1 second. Every time I see things that I don't like, especially from the Department of Justice, I can only imagine what could have happened under Kamala Harris, President of the United States, and say, well, we are leaving this timeline at least. But now I see this kind of push for J.D. Vance to be the anointed one. Oh, okay. I have no problem with J.D. Vance running for 2028 and going the full primary thing. But this being the anointed one, that he has to be the one. This will be no different than Kamala being the anointed one. And I think that JD Vance can hold the things on his own. And I think that ticket of Vance and Rubio would do very well. So many of you have said that DeSantis should run as well again. Ted Cruz, some of you mentioned Ted Cruz as well. And again, I'm going to tell you, they really need media training. DeSantis has been one of the most effective governors that I've seen. DeSantis is amazing. But the guy has no media training. And that is fundamental for anything in politics at that level. If you want to go, to that level, you will be destroyed. Ted Cruz will be destroyed. But the only one who could stand a chance, maybe, JD Vance, but I want him to go through the whole primary thing, the whole, the process. Well, let me see any other of your comments. Jesus got a call from Jerusalem. Oh, that was very funny. That's funny. It was really funny. Oh my God. Charlie Kirk didn't like Nicki Minaj as a role model for young girls and stated it publicly. What do you think about Erica Kirk bringing her to our AmFest? I mean, I don't know what Charlie Kirk. I don't know. Let me see. I'm gonna look very quickly for any mentions of Nicki Minaj from Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk 11 from let's see what Charlie Kirk has said about Nicki Minaj. So Charlie Kirk mentioned Nicki Minaj 3 times in September 2021. That was it. It was not negative. No, it was not positive. Maybe I can screenshot this. Yeah, I can screenshot this and show you right now. We have the magic of the internet right now when it works. When the internet works. Here we are. These are the only 3 mentions of Nicki Minaj. Let me see if he mentioned her handle. At least on Twitter. No mention of her. Not positive, not negative. Not bad, not great. What I suggest, I'm going to tell you what I think about this. I saw figures like Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj appeared all of the blue. I mean, at least in my timeline and on Twitter. Maybe you have a different experience. But it was like the last month, she was all over the place or everywhere praising Trump and such and such. And I found it odd. It can happen. Maybe it was just appearing. Maybe it was because it was appearing on my timeline for some reason. But it was like out of the blue. And I saw somebody on the replies that it was a bit a bit too rushed, right? Like having Nicki Minaj at America Fest. I don't know. There are other figures, by the way, like Russell Brand. Russell Brand, I remember that Russell Brand wrote a book on addiction. That book was not gonna lie, was very good. But I can't help. That's something that this is not facts. This is a complete personal opinion. This is only my personal opinion that I'm going to share with you about Russell Brand. I see his Christian side as extremely performative. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you think it's honest. Maybe, all right. I'm going to just share with you my personal opinion. I think it's performative. And he has been doing that for quite some time. And he has been invited to these conservative events for quite some time. And when I see him with that behavior, I see, all right, I guess. He changed for the better, but I can't shake the feeling that it feels performative. Again, that is my perception. That is my personal opinion that can differ from yours. And in no way, shape, or form, I'm telling you, do not listen to Russell Brand or not watch his show or not pay attention to what he has to say because, well, I haven't watched his show in a while. I'm sure that he's doing his best to expose the things that he exposes, but again, I see so much of a circus in many ways, and I really don't want to. I don't want to enter that cycle of speaking about the circus. That was pretty much what I was going to talk about. I'm going to do my thing, and in all cases, talk about. For example, I could talk about Pam Bondi. There's a video that I want to make about Pam Bondi, further video, because I don't think this is working. It's not working in many ways, but Pam Bondi is doing. I'm sick of all of them. It's a shame because I liked most of them before all of this, and I can understand as well that people can get tired of what I say. That is perfectly okay as well. Maybe after you say. After you hear what I said about Israel tonight, oh, you're disappointed. Or what I said about Kenneth Owens, you're disappointed. That's okay. That's okay. Maybe you're looking for people to reinforce what you believe in. Maybe you want to believe that everything that Kenneth Owens says is true. Okay, fine by me. This is again fine. Okay, you're not going to find that in here, and that's okay. But that's something that is very human. We tend to listen to, we tend to pay attention to, we tend to tune into the people that confirm our biases. That's normal. And it's my job. My job is telling you that is normal, and you have to take that into account when you listen to everybody, including me. It's like when I'm talking about Venezuela. When I'm talking about Venezuela, I have to make the disclaimer that I am a Venezuelan, and I have an obvious conflict of interest when talking about the United States in doing this blockade against Venezuela. It is obvious. Oh, you're talking because you're a Venezuelan. How comfortable is being in Venezuela and being in Europe, talking about that, wanting the United States to do something about that? No shit. I just said that at the beginning of my rant. I want to make it clear, if I have any sort of bias or any sort of conflict of interest, or if I have some sort of that I'm not sure what I'm saying, which I have done in many of my body language analysis, I am not so sure, and that's when I tell you that my way of telling you that is I'm going to give X a pass. I'm going to give Megan a pass. I'm going to give Kamala a pass. I'm going to give Trump a pass. I'm going to give Candace a pass. This happens all the time. So again, if you're here, it's because you want to know what's really going on. I'm not here to coddle was the word? What you want to believe. If you want to believe in something, I cannot change your mind. All I can do is ask questions in all cases. And I'm going to waste time asking questions about the high school drama because there's too much stuff going on. Let me see. Stop using that word. They killed Charlie. It was Tyler Robinson. Too many people in this country can read or write English. Has happened to me way too many times. I do my best to express in my videos my argumentation, my point. On X, I try to craft and write a compelling argument about something, and the replies, and not all of them, but 30% of them are people who either come in bad faith or they did not bother to read or watch the whole video, or both. So yes, you're blocked. You're blocked. I didn't see it. The body language guy, karate chop. Okay, it's simple. If Nicki Minaj talks about Christians being killed in Nigeria, that makes sense. That's something that we should listen to her because that makes sense. I mean, the problem we have, I'm going to tell you, if you get something, how many of us right now? 600. If you're going to take something from this live stream, from this Christmas message that has everything but Christmas, is one of the things that I have repeated to you over and over again. You might, and this can apply to everyone. This can apply to Meghan Markle. This can apply to Amber Heard. This can apply to imagine I mentioned Amber Heard. That's a new low for me. This can apply to everybody. But it's like when I say that you can take a look at Meghan Markle, for example, and take a look at how she reinvented herself every time, like 7 times, until she got to her goal. And you might say, but Meghan Markle is a bad person. Meghan Markle is a narcissist. Yeah, but the process of reinventing yourself until you attain your goal, that is a good thing. That is something that you can use for your life. That's something that I could use for my life. If we can, take the process or the lesson or the thing that we can learn from the person, regardless if we like the person or not, regardless if the person is morally wrong or not, then we already won. And that takes intelligence. And that takes, all right, wait a second. I don't like this person. This person is objectively bad, a bad person. But I can take this that they do for myself. I've always said, maybe the example, maybe you have a boss that is a complete psychopath. But maybe your boss, being a complete psychopath, he's a very well dressed, a very sharp dressed man. It would be stupid if you said, since my boss is a psychopath, I am not going to wear any suits. Or, no, man, it's two different things. Nobody's telling you to mimic or try to imitate the bad traits of your boss. But if you see that you can take some examples of the way that he dresses, take it. That's fair game. It's like I was mentioning Nick Fuentes destroying Piers Morgan in his show with a per capita thing. I mean, those 4 minutes are a textbook on how you destroy somebody who is plain dumb. And you know that somebody who is plain dumb, in this case, Piers Morgan, is not acting in good faith. Is acting trying to ridicule you. So, even if you don't like Nick Fuentes, and I don't like Nick Fuentes, I can say, I can take that. I can take that for myself. Oh, what did Nick Fuentes do? Okay, I'm going to write it down and try to synthesize it. If this happens to me, this is the way that I'm going to act. That takes actual smarts. That takes emotional intelligence. Because emotional intelligence means that you identify something that affects you emotionally, but you're looking at yourself like in third person. And then you can act in a level-headed way. And say, okay, I don't like what is going on here, but I'm going to take what works for me. At the same time, you can do the opposite. Maybe there are people that you like a lot. Maybe the people that you are fans of them, and they have some actions, there are some stuff that they do that you disapprove. Does it mean that since you like them or you are your other fans, and you're going to approve what you think is morally wrong? No, absolutely not. You're going to say, okay, I admire this person in this amount of things, but this thing I'm not going to imitate them or not going to mimic them or not going to follow them because of that. Because I think that is wrong. Making that distinction is fundamental, because this is a problem, the big problem of us humans. It's never about black and white, black versus white. Two completely different polarities. Humans are way more complex than that. At the same time, if you see that one person repeatedly acts in bad faith over and over again, at some point you have to say, well, I'm not going to listen to this person anymore. I'm wasting my time. Once, 2 times, 3 times, it's way too much. You see, see many of your comments, other questions. Jesus, do you think we will ever know the truth, what actually happened to Charlie Kirk? Of course. The trial, we will have a lot of information when that information surfaces, and we will, the most important thing, what happened to that bullet. And what happened to that bullet. And again, so many people saying you cannot trust the feds, but the problem is, so many people, I suggest, big shout out to Andrea Burkhardt here on YouTube and on X. Shout out to Andrea Burkhardt. She can explain a lot in detail about how these things go, and how she made a good show with Paramount Tactical, by the way, in which she can explain that the defense of Tyler Robinson can anybody, any defense could send all that evidence to an independent lab, and if the feds had fabricated the evidence, that would just be proven in hours. You understand? If there was fabricated evidence, then you're gonna say, oh, but every single lab is on it. Tyler Robinson's parents are on it. Everyone is, Oprah giving cars. You are on it. You are on it. Everyone is on it. Even the body language guy is on it as well. The body language guy got his $7,000 check. Yeah, it's something that I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I'm really behind with your comments. I'm sorry. Let me see. I just laughed so hard. So many of you have sent your super chats. I'm gonna review them in a minute. But I think that for the most part, this is what I wanted to tell you. Democrats take over in 26. As I see it, it's highly likely that they're gonna take over in 26. I wouldn't discard 2028 getting back to in power if this follows this trajectory, which I hope not. I will do my best for this not to happen. Trying to catch up on your messages. Make sure that I have to do this. I have to do this. You come to my show, you make this kind of comments, and I have the right to highlight this kind of comments. Why not consider the possibility that Charlie is still alive? Fuck's sake, man. Here are the guys, here are the people who think Piers Morgan is legit. Here are Nick Fuentes followers. Here are Candace Owens followers. Here are the complete utter retards that think that Charlie Kirk was killed by Exploding Mike. And I would have to go, I don't know, downstairs to be able to point out those who are thinking that Charlie Kirk faked his death. But that is like a very informal hierarchy of how I see the world. I think at the same level of Piers Morgan is Megyn Kelly. I think that is the hierarchy. Please. Don't do that again. Don't do that again. Let's see. What time is it? It's time for me to go to bed. I should go to bed. Try to review your if I can spot. This has nothing to do with Christmas. I'm sorry, K33. That's how it is. This is my Christmas message. This is my Christmas message. That I'm not going to engage in any more high school drama, and from this point on, not mentioning that anymore, because I think that we have better things to focus our energy. You watch what you want to watch. I have literally nothing to gain from these people in this name calling to each other, in this infighting. I have nothing to gain, and we have everything to lose. So you mean that we should be all like a block, like Matt Walsh says? No. I think that we should be focused on the people who almost destroyed the United States and by extension the world. Remember, the liberals are still out there. The people who wanted Biden for a second term are still out there. The people who almost got Kamala Harris elected for president of the United States are out there. Those are the people who now want Gavin Newsom for president of the United States. So, how much more urgent do you want it to be? How much more critical do you want it to be? I have no idea. I don't know what kind of games do people want to play. Jesus say, "I'll ban your ass in your Batman voice if you come to my live chat and you start speaking nonsense. Charlie Kirk was killed by a exploding mic. 1, you're retarded, and 2, I will ban your ass. I will 100% ban your ass." Oh my God. I will ban your ass. Woke mind virus. Oh my, this is woke mind virus is coming with a vengeance. Sad to say, we are not over this. This is coming back. And one thing, I was young and naive, oh sweet summer child 2024. I thought that, winning in a landslide was going to do something, but oh, poor me. I would like to have some kind of a time machine so I can go back to that sweet little boy on let's say November 7, when I regain consciousness. And I say, was great what you did last night. It was great what you did all these months, but I have to tell you one word that you're not going to like. Republicans. Especially Republicans in Congress. I really thought that this was going to be easier. I really thought it was going to be much easier. It's obvious that it was not going to be easy. It seems that Dan Bongino was the actual red flag, and this is the world we live in. So, again, I think that I can do way more help and do much more good for you if I help you spot when people are speaking nonsense, but not using the high school drama as example, but the actual bad actors, the liberals, the leftards, all of those as an example. I think that's what I should be doing. This is the kind of things that this is why I stopped. Thank you, Julia Collins 777, for mentioning this. You know that in my Power Ponded channel, I started covering this, these processes, these legal processes. It's like Ilhan Omar. It's like Ilhan Omar. How many times, I'm going to talk about Ilhan Omar right now. How many times have we heard, oh, she married her brother, she had this, I don't know, she's implicated in all this fraud, she married fraud, citizen fraud, all this, and nothing happens. Everything that has happened in Minnesota, All that, all that is happening in there with Tim Walz. Is anything going to happen? I understand why so many people are fed up with everything. Nothing ever happens. Nothing ever changes. Nobody is taken. Nobody is arrested. Now I understand. I can't. I haven't experienced. Again, as so many of you already know, I'm gonna repeat that again for clarity. I am not in the United States. I am in Europe. And I am not a United States citizen. I wanted to be very clear about that. I have said that countless of times and people still don't get it. And I was very clear in 2024. Jesus, why are you so invested in American politics if you're not an American? Why do you keep talking about this? Is this some kind of grift? Let's talk about the grift. I'm going to be very clear about the grift. If this was a grift for me, if the Body Language Guy channel was a grift for me, I would have stayed away from politics for the sole reason. This is very simple. This is the math. The moment I began campaigning for Donald Trump, the moment I began telling people to not vote for Kamala Harris, it is obvious to imagine that I was basically telling half of my audience, yes, you are wrong, you are retarded for thinking about voting for Kamala Harris. So I was literally nuking half of my audience. Now explain to me, how is that a grift? Because I don't get it. Moreover, and I'm going to, I can show you the views, but you can go to my videos about Kamala Harris on 2024 and watch how many 1 million views videos I had on Kamala Harris. Quite a few. And some of them 900,000, 800,000. I had millions and millions of views on Kamala Harris videos. What do you think? I'm going to ask you. Let's ask the questions here. What do you think would have been if I had jumped into the whole politics stuff? What would have benefited me the most? Donald Trump winning or Kamala Harris winning? You can watch the analysis on Kamala Harris. It was obvious. If Kamala Harris had become the president of the United States, I would have had 4 years of millions and millions and millions and millions of views. I would have like 2 or 3 million subscribers by now. It was obvious to me. So what did I do? The exact opposite. And why do you think it was like that? Why did I do the exact opposite? Maybe because it was the right thing to do. Maybe besides Donald Trump having all the flaws that he has because he's a human being, maybe with all the flaws that we could say that he went through on that first term, he was the choice that we needed to bring some sanity to what was happening in the world, and especially in the United States, most especially, it's the most important and critical with the illegal immigration crisis. You are watching, you knew it was the right thing to do. I knew it was the right thing to do. And I alienated, I don't know how to pronounce that, half of my audience and went for the option was going to be the less lucrative for me. Anybody can do the math. So I want to ask, I genuinely want to ask, how the fuck is that a grift? Because if I was a grifter, I would be the worst grifter ever, because I am doing the exact opposite of what any respectable grifter would do. I don't know what to tell you. What else to tell you about that? But it's the reality. I wanted to say that a while ago. It had to be a live rant. I was not gonna make a video about that. I want you to I wanted you to have actual content in my videos. At least your integrity is still intact. You know, my writing, there's one thing that that is hard. I was going to make a video. Maybe it would be at the end of this year. Maybe it would be in 2026, about what really means to be an individual. And being an individual is hard, because I've told you many times that I was a people pleaser for way too long. I was a people pleaser, and one can get caught in what we call what is the word for that? Caught up with our audience. It's like your audience expects you to say something, to confirm something, to say something that pleases them, and you are afraid to lose your audience, so you don't say, "Oh, maybe I can, add some makeup to this statement. I'm not so sure about it." If I'm not sure about something, I either won't talk about that, or I will make it very clear that I'm not the one to talk about that topic. I will make it totally clear. But sometimes you have to say what's in your heart, what you truly believe, regardless if people are going to be triggered. If 2025 taught me anything, both in a public and personal way, is that life can be really short. And it will be such a shame at the end of your life when you are facing God and God tells you, "What the fuck happened, man? The fuck is this? This is all that you could have done with your life, but you were too afraid to go for it." Yeah, it would have been painful to go for it. It would have been painful to speak your mind. It would have been painful to do what's right. But you spent your whole life in a passive pain of this weight of, maybe people are not going to like what I say. Maybe people are not going to approve what I say. People are going away. My audience is going away. My family is going away. My friends are going away. That's why it's so important. The importance of the individual, the importance of you. And I've said this too many times, but I will keep saying it till my last breath. The most important person in your life, it's you. No one else. Literally no one else. And if you don't stay true to yourself, you will suffer. You think you're delaying suffering. You think that you're avoiding suffering. Oh, I'm not gonna, I don't want to confront people. I don't want to, I have too much to lose. My audience, all right. Keep your audience. you're gonna regret that. I mean, it's not easy to be. It's not easy to be completely clear and authentic. And one of the things that can be at the same time difficult is to accept that you were wrong about something, and I have been wrong about things. But at least I have made sure when I say something, I give you the reasons why I think something is the way I think it is. And when I get things wrong, well, I got it wrong. And that's life. But my message to you is that I'm going to make a video, a dedicated video about that. Maybe that is the Christmas message that I want you to think about without mentioning anyone external. This is only about you. 2026 must be the year that you say, I'm going to stay true to myself. I'm going to say the things that I know that have to be said. I'm going to speak the truth. I'm going to confront people when I disapprove of their behavior. I'm going to be assertive. I'm going to choose myself first and foremost. And then, if people are up to my standards, then I can give them a chance. That's what we should do in 2026. And this has to apply to everything. And when I tell you everything, it's even the people that you defend and you consider, oh, you are a fan of such and such. You should make sure to have this kind of, not a checklist. The checklist is too stale, too gray of a word. To prioritize what you think is right. And sometimes the people that you look up to will do things that you, hey, this is not right. And if it happens, you don't have to follow them blindly. And this applies literally to anybody. Anybody. When I say anybody, is anybody. Even your mother and your father. It's that simple. Going to answer some more of your questions. Museum. This is good. Do not be a follower. Be true to yourself first. Wanda Badge Row 8207. Where do you get those names from? That is a good comment. That's a good comment. Do you read all your comments? It's simply not possible. I try to skim through them, but I get literally thousands of comments, so I can maybe skim through them, but some of them have nested replies. Some comments are nested replies. I cannot open all of them. There's YouTube doesn't have a way to do that. I think I'm gonna try to. I will end with this high note. Super chat from Puffin Iceland. Have you seen the movie In the Name of the Father? I don't remember which one was that. I haven't watched movies in a while. Which one is that one? I don't remember. I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna write it down. Let me write that one. I'm gonna write that one. Okay, I just laughed so hard, and thank you, Jack Noam Regian. Oh, previous. Sorry, I didn't mention you. Puffin Iceland, and this is Jack Noam Regian. Just laughed so hard, and thank you for your super chat. I don't know what was you laughing about. SSJB is another of our trusty mods. Speaking for myself, I stand loyal and have grown to respect your astute observations and utmost professional analysis. Thank you, Mr. Rosas Bravo. Thank you, SSJB. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Whenever you say, you see, if you ever see some nonsense coming out of my mouth, feel free to call me out. I set the tone 3. The tone 3, right? I don't have much still. I wanted to support. You are amazing. Take care, mate, from Australia. Thank you. I set the tone 3. And J.E. May, Merry Christmas, Jesus. Merry Christmas to you, J.E. May, and Merry Christmas to all of you, my lovely bottle language buddies. Let me see who else is in here. I think that that was the Christmas message. 2026. Maybe I will make more videos until 2026, but I wanted to share this moment with you. We got the Egyptian planes and the Mossad and the UK and the MI6 and the Yakuza as well. And Jack Black. Why is nobody investigating Jack Black? Why hasn't the FBI investigated Jack Black? I'm just making questions, but well, whatever. All of them tried to derail this live stream, but we are here. All of them tried to derail this live stream, but we are here. And well, my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the bottle language guy. And until we meet on another video, another live stream, remember the most important words. Much love and bliss. Take care. Be safe. Merry Christmas. And if we don't meet again, have a wonderful and happy New Year 2026. Much love and bliss. Love you all.